Welcome to part 1 of my Critiquing Games series. This series is meant to focus on giving fair criticisms to modern games and common practices we see in games, while respectfully giving ideas and opinions to hopefully encourage anyone who's willing to listen to think a little bit outside of the box. We won't be going over things that are too unreasonable, so nothing requires an insane amount of money or anything like that, as an example. Just a bit more effort to polishing games for their fans. This video is directed towards classes and the choices you're given for them in RPGs. More specifically, Western-style RPGs, but this can apply to many others as well. Right now there are a lot of common practices regarding classes, and there are a few things I'd like to see. This video will only be focusing on one of those things, however. Hybrid classes and/or talent trees. What do I mean by this? Essentially being able to combine multiple classes and/or talent trees to customize your own style. An example of this would be having a mage and warrior class combined into one, or having a fire and ice instead of having to choose one or the other. A lot of MMOs have done this on a very basic level, but you almost never see it done in a way to make up your entire class or combat style. This is a much more rare occurrence, and I think it would be a good benefit to RPGs if done more frequently. I think it would provide more variety and choice to players in a positive way. I obviously don't know it for a fact, but I think most players would welcome this sort of variation and could be more immersed in their character due to how personalized and unique to them you can make it. The first main issue that comes to mind with a system like this is balance. If, for example, you could have a warrior and mage combination in one, balance would end up being much more difficult. Being able to, in this example, have both range and a way to effectively damage your enemy at a close range is something very powerful. Still, as long as you do certain things cleverly, I think we can evolve RPGs with hybrid classes and talent trees. Take advantage of the fact that there are many variables, and think about what makes something more powerful or less powerful in PvP combat. If you wanted to take the lazy route, you could do that too. You could, for example, not change anything about the damage or the effects that the spells may have, but instead just simply have the aesthetics be more unique and personalized to what you want, such as fire and ice as an example. This wouldn't cause any balance issues at all. It'd be the same thing, just different in aesthetics, although a little bit lazy, of course. You could also choose to only have something like this for when you're not going against players. Instead, have it be PvE. But back on the PvP thing, you could think of how a hybrid class would easily be countered by non-hybrid classes. Or you could buff the damage on non-hybrid classes. Another thing you could do is make the damage normal across them all, but instead take away certain important things in PvP from the hybrid classes, such as forms of crowd control, AoE, or mobility. Those alone tend to be huge factors in PvP. It's not all about being able to do multiple forms of damage, there are also combinations of these that you could do. Similar to that of the Frostfire Bolt when it was introduced in World of Warcraft. It didn't do a lot of damage, it didn't do a lot in terms of crowd control either, but in situations it was able to be used in a fun and interesting way due to its moderation in both. In my opinion, if done well, you could slowly work your way up to having fully functional hybrid classes that are fun to use and surprisingly well balanced. Also, that's not including the single-player RPGs, although I believe balance should still be reasonably achieved because I personally had bad experiences in single-player RPGs due to balance issues with the AI. It's not something you'd need to spend as much time with in balancing. But that's my opinion. What do you think? I'd definitely be interested to hear any other ideas I haven't thought of, so I encourage you to comment below with your thoughts. Until next time, have fun.